Bro, our game on Saturday, Liverpool Bournemouth. Tell me you saw the dumb red card that was given.
Bro, I don't know what's going on with these refs, but I don't think they have a clue about where the lines should be drawn on what's a dangerous tackle and what's not. With that one, I can understand like they're saying that it's dangerous because the foot was raised, but both feet were raised. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get
Exactly.
the foot where he connected with it. He connected with his foot.
Exactly.
It wasn't like he connected with his shin or something like that. They were both had their feet raised. The guy got there first. It's a yellow card, 100%. Is it a causing what's it causing dangerous play or whatever? Not causing dangerous play, but was it a dangerous play that could
There was
consider
no force. There was
causing
no force.
damage or force or whatever? I don't know. I don't even know what terms they're using now. But all I do know is it weren't a red. I can't believe that they gave a straight red for it. And sometimes the reaction of the player plays into it, but they've got
Yeah.
VAR. They've got VAR. And the
Bruv.
problem is, if the ref makes a decision on the
Mm-hmm.
field that that is basically saying it's not like if he gives a yellow and it gives the option to review, now at least he can look at it on the slow mo. If you give a red and they're like, well, it's considered a red and we can't overturn it, we can't because he's seen the tackle and
He's
he's
seen
seen it.
contact. He's seen
Like,
contact. Apparently, because there was contact, Klopp said the reason why they don't think that he doesn't think they overturned it because there was contact, and because there's contact, it's not classed as a clear and obvious error.
yeah,
Because if there was no contact at all, then they would say, hold on, there's no contact. But still, like, I'm not being funny, it's probably incorrect. But all that, as Liverpool fans, all we could think of on that day was Paul Tierney again, the VAR, the one that Klopp called
your
out,
homeboy.
the one that Klopp called out, and one that Klopp got a ban for criticising, is there watching it and not saying to his colleague, no, that's not a red card. That's not a red card. But I'm not. Listen, I'm not.
Uh, You
I'm not going
guys
to say
calling
he's.
out 14 has clearly not worked because they all keep assigning into your games no matter what.
Yeah,
So
I
where
know. But from
yeah,
what I've been told, it's got nothing to do with Paul Turney. On the day, I thought it was, and I thought he was proving Klopp right. But if they're saying it's because there was contact, so it's not enough for them to get involved with, because now they've raised the threshold again. They don't want to, as they say, re-referee the game anymore. If a referee sees it and it's not a blatant mistake,
mistake.
then I'll let it go. But what made it worse for me is I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Newcastle game against Man City later on, and the exact same tackle happens, and he gets a
Hmm.
yellow card.
Yeah,
And I'm watching the Tottenham game, and Porro does the same thing against Bruno
Bruno.
Fernandes, and it's not even a free kick. The referee plays on,
Yeah, that
and
was a foul, 100%. I don't know how he got away with it, but either way, what I would say is that there needs to be consistency. I think the problem is it's the interpretation of the ref. So if he sees it as one way, someone else might see it as a different way. We have the benefit of looking at replays and slow it down and everything else. But when you see it initially, I still wouldn't have given that as a red card. To me,
yeah.
those are 50-50s that a player can be just a tad bit late. As I said, if he connects with his shin or something like that, I can understand. But if he connects with
Hmm.
his foot, that shows to me that both players' feet were raised. And to me, there's no reason why you would give a red for that when both players kind of went in with the same height of
And side
tackle.
foot. I swear it
Yeah,
was side foot in the end as
it was
well.
side foot. It was side foot. That's where they connected. So, no, I don't get it. I don't get it. But you know what? We're gonna see
We've
many
appealed it.
more of these things throughout the whole
Yeah.
season because it ain't gonna
But
change.
we've appealed it. I'm just really hoping that they accept the appeal and they overturn it, because it's just going to feel, like I said, seeing Bruno Gomes get off, and then we're playing Newcastle next, and he's going to be playing after making the exact same tackle, and Mac Allister may not play. That's just going to feel so wrong if that does
You can't
happen.
really afford not to have him because their midfield is boosted now with
Tonali
Tonali coming in with
or Joe Linton
Joe
went off
Linton.
injured. He
Well,
went off
yeah, we
injured.
don't know how bad it is.
But
We don't know how bad it
yeah,
is. But it's one of those
but
ones
we need
where,
everything.
yeah, you're gonna need Mac Allister for sure. Newcastle are a problem, and that City game, you know, they started off a bit tentative, but they grew themselves back into their game, and had a few with better decision in the final third. They could have done a thing, but no. In terms of refereeing decisions, we're gonna see a few more. The one thing I will say, the positive, is I think they've got better with the handballs, where players were just getting penalised for handballs stupidly. Like obviously,
So
you was
is
saying
that your game? Yeah.
our game, yes. So Romero had one where his arm was raised, but not in. It was still close to his body, but it was so close that he wouldn't have been able to get his arm out of the way, and it wasn't in an unnatural position. So the ref didn't give a pen, but others may say, it should have been a pen or it could have been a pen. But I think last season it would have been. This season, I think they've showed some common sense, and I know what you're going to say. So I'm going to let you say it because the last week that wasn't.
Last week, okay, it's not the exact same decision, but another person is sliding in the Brighton game, and it was dunk, and he turns his back, and it hits his elbow where he can't see it, and they give a penalty, and they're like, "But how do you give that? So how do you give that as a penalty, and then not give the Chelsea one in our game, which I can accept, and the Romero one?" So none of them should have been penalties. All of them should have been penalties. You can't have some and not the others. And like you said, it's interpretation. But then there's two levels of interpretation of both of those. You got two sets of eyes. Because I'm pretty sure in the VAR room they have an assistant in there as well. Yeah. So you have the main guy in there, but he's got an assistant in there as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he says, no, look at that. They won't just sit there and say, yeah, it's your decision, mate. I'm not getting involved. He'll give his opinion as well.
But it's one ref of it. It's one ref of VAR or one official. So that official is supposed to be the one recommending the.
Okay, and the other guys
just operators that just operate the machinery, but there's an official that should be the one that's giving the advice to the ref. So he's effectively the fifth official, technically. So
I don't know. What I did find funny is Bruno being the captain of Man United and then saying that they did deserve an apology, like for the handball, that it was unjust. And I thought to myself, this guy, he's just not fit. Yeah, he said it basically. He said that he hopes that the referee comes into Man United change room to apologise for the mistake they made on the penalty, like they did last week for the Wolves one. But it wasn't, for me. I don't think it was a mistake. It wasn't a penalty, and the referee made the right decision.
Yeah,
but I think. Go on.
It's typical Man United players' entitlement.
Yes, exactly. I think this shows more signs that he's not the right captain.
Well, that's another story for another day and another analyst to give his opinion on. Because boy, I'm not sure how much United fans were happy about Bruno as captain. But yeah, we move.
Okay, well, so that we're in communion. I was thinking of the right word, but that's not the word I could think of. Agreement.
There we go.
So no red card. But do you think they'll overturn it? We've put in the request for it to be overturned. Do you think they're going to be like, it's early in the season, it's his first game as a referee in the Premier League? Are we going to throw him under the bus and say he got it wrong in the big game, or are we going to back him knowing that we're wrong?
Is he banned for 3 matches or 1?
I think he would be, because it'd be classed as violent conduct. It's straight red.
I mean, he might be banned for 1 match. I don't think they'll completely wipe everything out and say punishment was enough, because you still won the game with 10 men. But I do believe that it may be reduced from 3 matches to 1 if it is 3 matches.
I think that's still a travesty.
It is. To be honest, it really is. But it's definitely not violent conduct or something that deserves greater punishment than that. It shouldn't have been a red, but who knows? There's no consistency, so you just don't know whether they're going to overturn it or not. Let's be honest.
Okay, well, hopefully they do, and we are full strength against Newcastle. Cool, that's all we've got for today. Peace out, people.
Peace.